I don't even need to know if I'm the asshole for getting revenge on my mother-in-law after she convinced my wife I was cheating. I know I was, but that bitch deserved it. For context, my mother-in-law, Carla, has always been a manipulative and controlling woman. From the day I met her, she has found ways to meddle in my relationship with my wife, Lisa. In Carla's mind, I was never good enough for her daughter. She always made snide remarks, subtly planting seeds of doubt about my loyalty. I never thought much of it until things started spiraling out of control. Lisa and I have been married for 6 years, and things were going well until about a year ago. Carla started ramping up her usual manipulation, but this time it went to an entirely new level. Out of nowhere, Lisa began questioning my every move. If I was 5 minutes late from work, she'd accuse me of being somewhere I shouldn't. If I got a text from a friend, she'd demand to see my phone. At first, I chalked it up to stress or insecurity, but I had no idea just how deep the problem went, thanks to Carla's interference. It all started with the private investigator. Carla somehow convinced Lisa that I was cheating, and the next thing I knew, Lisa hired a private investigator. This guy followed me around for weeks, but obviously he found nothing. I had nothing to hide because I wasn't cheating. Lisa showed me the investigator's report and it was clean as a whistle. I thought that would put an end to her suspicions, but it only seemed to fuel Carla's paranoia. Private investigators aren't perfect, Carla said. They miss things, you just have to look harder. And that's when Carla's real campaign began. She hired women to approach me in public. The first thing Carla did was hire random women to flirt with me. It started happening everywhere I went. Work, the grocery store, even outside my gym. Women I had never seen before would approach me, acting flirty, asking for my number or trying to engage in weird, overly friendly conversations. One day at the grocery store, a woman accidentally knocked over her basket in front of me, making a big scene and flirting with me as I helped her pick up her items. Of course, someone in the background was taking photos of this interaction. Those photos ended up in Lisa's inbox later that night, with Carla framing it as if I were picking up women during mundane errands. I tried to explain, but Lisa was already doubting me. She created a fake Tinder profile in my name. Carla didn't stop there. A few weeks later, Lisa confronted me with screenshots of a Tinder profile. One that had my name, picture, and a bio that made me sound like a sleazy guy looking for hookups. I was floored. I'd never even touched Tinder in my life. Lisa claimed she'd been sent screenshots by a friend who found me on the app. I begged her to believe that it wasn't me, and after I managed to get into the fake profile with the help of a tech-savvy friend, we traced it back to none other than Carla's IP address. I showed Lisa, and for a moment I thought she'd realize what was happening, but Carla had already dug her claws in too deep. Lisa said, "Even if my mom created the profile, what if you gave her the idea? Maybe you've been acting suspicious and she just wanted to catch you in the act." She sent anonymous texts to Lisa, pretending to be the other woman. A week after the Tinder fiasco, Lisa started getting anonymous text messages. They were from a random number with a woman claiming she'd been seeing me for months. This mystery woman sent detailed stories about how we would meet up after work, or how I'd sneak off to her apartment during my lunch break. None of it was true, of course, but Carla had made sure the stories had just enough plausible details to make Lisa doubt me further. I kept telling Lisa that it wasn't true, but her trust in me was crumbling by the day. Carla was relentless, whispering in her ear and feeding the flames. Lisa started sleeping in the guest room, and our relationship felt like it was hanging by a thread. She planted evidence in my car. One day, I came home to Lisa holding a pair of women's earrings. She said she found them under the passenger seat of my car. I had no idea how they got there. I never let anyone else into my car, and I sure as hell didn't recognize the earrings. That's when it clicked. Carla had access to my car. She'd been over the previous weekend helping Lisa clean up the garage, and I hadn't thought twice about it at the time. She must have planted the earrings to make it look like I was giving women rides or meeting someone in secret. Of course, Lisa believed it. "How could you do this to me?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I found these in your car. How do you explain that?" I couldn't. All I could do was swear that I had no idea where they came from, but at this point my word wasn't enough. She created fake photoshopped messages between me and another woman. The final nail in the coffin was when Carla presented Lisa with what looked like screenshots of text messages between me and another woman. The messages were crude, full of sexual innuendo, and signed off with a pet name that only Lisa had ever called me. I was beyond livid. It was obvious to me that these messages were fake, the timestamps didn't even make sense. But Lisa was too blinded by all the evidence Carla had gathered to see reason. Carla kept pushing her narrative. Why would someone go to this length if it wasn't true? He's been hiding things from you for months. You deserve better. Now at this point, you might be asking yourself why a mother would do something like this to her own daughter. I could see her hatred of me being real, but her daughter? Nah. Carla's motivations were deeply rooted in her controlling nature and her long-standing disapproval of me. From the very beginning, she felt that her daughter, Lisa, could do better and deserved someone who would cater to her every whim. Carla believed that no man was ever good enough for Lisa. In her eyes, her daughter was perfect, beautiful, smart, and deserving of a partner who would worship the ground she walked on. But more than that, Carla had always harbored a bitter resentment toward men in general, stemming from her own failed relationships. She'd been through 2 divorces, both of which had left her jaded and convinced that all men were untrustworthy. This distrust was further amplified by Lisa's history. Lisa had been cheated on by her last boyfriend, a betrayal that had left her devastated and broken. When she met me, I was everything she wanted, honest, caring, and dependable. But that past hurt lingered, making her more vulnerable to the idea that infidelity was lurking around every corner. Carla knew exactly how to play on that vulnerability. She wanted to keep her daughter close, ensuring that no man would ever pull her away or make her feel second to anyone. By planting seeds of doubt, Carla could create a wedge between them, all the while convincing Lisa that she was doing it for her protection. Carla also had a possessive streak when it came to Lisa's future. She didn't want her daughter to have children with me, fearing that a family would tie Lisa to me forever. In Carla's twisted mind, if she could sabotage the marriage before we had kids, Lisa would be free to move on and find someone better. This motivation drove her to fabricate evidence and manipulate Lisa's fragile trust, knowing it would resonate with the deep scars left by her past relationship. Lisa, still carrying the wounds of betrayal, was a prime target for Carla's lies. With her past experiences clouding her judgment, Lisa fell deeper into the belief that history was repeating itself. Every fake message, every staged encounter, seemed like proof that her worst fears were coming true. That was it. Lisa had packed a bag and was staying with her mom. She said she needed time to think about whether we should even stay married. I was at my wit's end, so I decided to fight fire with fire. I hired my own private investigator, this time to follow Carla. I wanted proof that she was behind everything. Over the course of a few weeks, we uncovered her dirty little secret. She had been meeting with the women who approached me in public, paying them off for their performances. We also discovered the fake Tinder profile was connected to an email address Carla had set up months ago, long before Lisa's suspicions began. But the best part? Carla had been using Lisa's laptop to send the anonymous texts and manipulate the fake evidence. She left a digital trail that my investigator was able to document thoroughly. With all of this evidence in hand, I confronted Lisa. I sat her down, showed her the pictures, the texts, the emails, everything. I could see the color drain from her face as it all came together. How could she do this to us? Lisa whispered. I'll admit, part of me wanted to feel smug, but the truth is I was heartbroken. My marriage was hanging on by a thread because of Carla's lies. Lisa broke down in tears, apologizing profusely, saying she had no idea her mother was capable of such cruelty. I told Lisa that while I still loved her, I couldn't be in a marriage where she believed her mother over me. If she wanted this marriage to work, she had to cut Carla out of her life, and we'd go to therapy to rebuild the trust she had broken by siding with her mother for so long. Lisa agreed to go no contact with Carla, and we started therapy. It wasn't easy, but we've been working on our relationship. Carla, on the other hand, faced some serious consequences. I sent all the evidence to the people in her church and social circles, showing them the extent of her deceit. Her reputation took a massive hit, and she's been ostracized from many of the communities she once thrived in. As for revenge, I'm not proud of it, but I also leaked her activities to a few other people who she had manipulated over the years. The truth about her manipulative ways is now public knowledge, and she's been exposed for the monster she truly is. So, after all that, I already know I'm the asshole. But that bitch deserved that and a lot more. The idea that she thought I'd sit there and watch while she blew up my life was ridiculous.